And now into the Chicago Bears. We see Mark Sanchez, the fourth overall pick in the 2009 draft. He had his rookie year last year. Didn't fare so great. They ended up having the 12th overall pick. We see D'Angelo Williams at running back, who was a star before, and now I guess he lost his status. He ran fairly well last year, but I guess he ended up losing that development trait. He was the 23rd overall pick in the 2006 draft. There is Glenn Coffey and Eric Shelton, two other running backs that really aren't that fantastic. As you can see, the talent is not really here for the Bears. They did draft some receivers. They have Golden Tate and Andre Roberts. And Tate is going to be probably Sanchez's favorite target here. They also have Sidney Rice, who they ended up getting in the 2007 NFL draft. They have Kevin Ogletree, Banks, and they did sign Nate Burleson as a veteran. They did sign Randy McMichael this offseason, so they now have a solid tight end. They also have John Carlson and Carney, who Mulligan, I think, is the one, and they call Carney is just seen as better. On the O-line, they have Damian Cook, who benefited from the progression tool 1 year. He was a nobody and ended up getting a huge boost in overall. So he's been a reliable left tackle for them at the 83, kind of the anchor on their O-line, next to Olin Kreutz, who's a center. Subert was signed this offseason. We have Cook, and then we have John Jerry, who was a fourth-round pick, 69 overall. It was Alex Barron was their main starter at right tackle, but he is probably going to be the new solid right tackle for them. So Bears offense right now, I've been basically using them as a run-heavy offense to go through Williams, but Williams might not be the best option moving forward. So I'm thinking maybe I'll start getting some passes and some connections with Mark Sanchez and Tate, Mark Sanchez and Michael. So still trying to figure out this offense entirely because they were a run-first offense, but it didn't really work out well for them. Then on the defense, is not really much better. We see the front line there is Anthony Weaver, Jonathan Babineau. They just signed Casey Hampton, the veteran. They did draft Sean Lissamore. He's the 69 overall DT. And then there's Brian Robison. It's a decent D-line, but it's not as solid as it should be when you think about the Chicago Bears defense. DBs like Nathan Vasher at 74 overall, Orlando Scandrick, there's Butler, Godfrey. No one that really stands out. I mean, Nathan Vasher should have been much more of an impactful player, but did not really turn out that way. Then we have Michael Jenkins should be the free safety. Apparently he was injured during this preseason stretch. So he is probably their most prominent defensive player at 77 overall. Malcolm Jenkins. He was the second round, fourth overall pick in 2009. So he's an anchor for them, but Castile is right there because of the injury. You have Roman Harper, who they signed this offseason. So they kind of help their safeties out tremendously when they have Malcolm Jenkins and Roman Harper. Then for linebackers, they have Keith Rivers and Daryl Smith, who Daryl Smith is coming through. Keith Rivers, I'm surprised how long it's taken him to really get into his own. Because with the Bengals, he was always a very good linebacker. With Chicago, I don't know why he hasn't really developed as well as he could or should have. And then you look at the first-round pick this year. Rolando McClain was supposed to be the anchor in their middle backing core, and he's a 66 overall normal dev. So he is perceived to be really good, but he's probably going to let them down. Now we look at special teams. They have punter Chris Klugh and then Justin Medlock. Now the Bears, I have very low expectations for. Even though Bruce Arians is their coach, I'm expecting probably 6-11, 7-10 would probably be their ceiling. But let me know what you think. Feel free to comment what your thoughts are about the Chicago Bears and maybe what you think their record might be with this type of a roster.